Well, today we're gonna see if we can get this Sniper EFI to work again. We're under the hood of the 68 Chevelle. This car, been in the family for a long time. So we're gonna get back here. What we did is we called Holley. We've been having some problems with this Sniper. So we called Holley. We've tried a few things. Today, we're going to install the part number 12878 fuel pressure regulator from Holley. So the Sniper system's flooding the motor out. We're going to install this, and hopefully that will control the fuel issues. So I'll get you down here, and we'll see if we can't make this work better. So I'm gonna try to get you a good vantage point here. Hang on now. Get you set up a little bit, and we'll get this installed. Now these little regulators, there ain't much to them. You just got to be darn careful not to push on the center. That's the regulating part. We are going to put a little bit of petroleum oil on there, or jelly on around that seal there, so it'll slide in a little easier. And hopefully she'll go right in. Like I said, we don't want to push on the outside of that, so we'll just use a little pick here, a couple little picks, and we'll try to just push on the outside of this a little bit and get her put in place. Should just kind of snap in there, and it don't want to. So let me go grab a couple of small screwdrivers. I'll be right back. I know a guy would probably think it'd be okay just put that cover back on and push it in with the cover, but that is not a good idea. If you bend this center diaphragm piece, that's kind of your regulator. So, but I don't want to really pop back in place, does it? No, it don't. So let's see, get that back out of there. Put a little more lube on the inside there. See if we can't help that slide in a little easier. Boy, she's pretty tight there. She don't want to go. We'll get her though. We'll get her in there. We'll get her in there. There, she's starting to go. There, she's in there. She's in where she's supposed to be now. So now, well, let's put that cover back on. This little cover, I got the throttle body unit loose here, obviously, so I can get around, get to it a little bit easier. But we'll carefully put these in, and we'll take our time kind of snugging it up around so we don't bend that diaphragm that's in there. This is pushing right against it, so. 4 little screws, and we will hopefully get this old girl back on the road. Yeah, she was, she was pretty tight there. She don't want to go. 4 little screws, and we will hopefully get this old girl back on the road. 4 little screws, and we will hopefully get this old girl back on the road. 4 little screws, and we will hopefully get this old girl back on the road. She was using a lot of fuel. A lot of fuel. But hopefully that problem will be solved right now. We shall see. Get this here socket off, and we'll just hand tighten this stuff up. Kind of go around real nicely, snug her up a little bit. Go down here. And one more over here. And this one. Okay. We'll get our handy snap-on ratchet out, and we'll just give her some snugging. Hey, you know what? That was dumb. That was really dumb. That wasn't very smart at all. Let's pop this back apart. Somebody may or may not have forgot the O-ring on the outside of that. Might have got a little bit ahead of myself. Let's double check. I don't remember. I just looked down at the package, and the package has got new O-rings in it. And I don't remember if this has an O-ring in it. Probably be a smart move to just back her out a little bit and check it out. I'd hate to put it back together and then have to take it back apart again. I mean, put the throttle body back on, because I just put it back together and have to take it apart again. So, yeah. That's all right. That's all right. If I don't do things 2 or 3 times in a row, it usually doesn't get done. Shoot. Let's look and see what we got here. Yeah, there's an O-ring in there. We should probably just change that. Yep. Yep, that would be smart. That would be smart. That guy right there. Look at that. Yeah, it's still nice and pliable, but we got a couple new ones in this box, so we are going to change it out. Wonder why they send you some. Oh, they're all different sizes. Hey, look at that, huh? That'd be why they send you so many. So, there's a new one. That up in place there. Maybe if we got a little bit of that petroleum lube left, we'll put that on there. Hey, now, let's give that a shot. Let's give that a shot. We'll go back right through the same process and put this back together. They send you a new O-ring for a reason. I guess we should probably use it. I don't know that it would have leaked, but it may have. It may have. I don't know. But hopefully now it doesn't. I should have put a light in here so you guys could see just a little bit better, but I didn't. So it should be okay though. Hopefully. Alright, now let's get that fancy snap-on ratchet out and do a little tightening. Now we're going into this aluminum housing. We're not going to get all too carried away with it. I'm sure there's some torque specs, but hey, I can hear a ratchet clicking, so it must be tight, right? they weren't all that tight when I took them off, so. All right, we got that on. So we're gonna put the throttle body back on, but we're gonna go do a quick test, the same test that I did to see what was going on. And I'll tell you what was happening. Sorry about that. Sorry, that boy. Hope I didn't make you sick on that one. But I'll tell you what was happening. This car started all of a sudden flooding out. So I pulled the sniper unit up kind of like that and went in, turned the key on and watched it prime, and it just didn't stop priming. It would just continue to pour fuel. I mean, the whole passenger side of this throttle body was just dumping fuel. Now, I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to test it, but that's the way I tested it, and I don't think that was working very well. So I'm gonna put you right here. I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna turn the key on, and I'm gonna try to hurry up and run out here and poke my head under there right through here and see if the fuel just kind of sprays out like it's supposed to, or if it just continues to pour. That's the problem we're trying to solve right now. So you guys keep an eyeball in there. Let me get you down. Hey, I got you sick again. I know, I'm just bouncing you all over the place today. Hey, there we go. You got a good vantage point now. You guys tell me, you watch in there, and you tell me if that is putting some fuel in there that it's not supposed to. We'll put this light bulb over here, shine that in there. Now, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go over here, see if I can get this key on, and then hurry up and run around and see what it did once I do that. I don't know. It might be tough for me to see and do, and I'm gonna roll the window down here. I can maybe just reach through the window, turn that key, and run my happy butt over there. There, it should be priming. There's the fuel that comes down. And it quit. We may have solved that problem. Now, you guys at home, you might be thinking I'm kind of goofy, and that was a dumb way to figure it out, but I gotta tell you, it's pretty tough when you're here by yourself, so you gotta kind of A, amuse yourself, and B, try to solve the problem. So now I'll tell you what was happening. You normally seen that fuel primed like that, and then after that it would just continue to pour from this side, just continue to pour out. So that was the problem we had. Now it looks to be solved, so I'll take a minute here. I'll bolt this throttle body unit back on, and then we'll go hit the key and see if this old girl will run. Now the problem is it's probably not going to run well because it's been flooded so bad. I'm not going to change the spark plugs right away. I just want to see if I've got the problem solved, you know. And then from there, we'll obviously probably have to change the spark plugs. We'll probably have to change the oil. I'm sure this oil is probably more gas than oil right now. Let's just pop this dipper stick out and check. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll put that in front of your eyeballs. I think the full mark is somewhere down here. That's how much fuel is in this thing. Wow. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't even run it without changing oil. Let's wipe that down. The full mark is clear down here, and you guys saw it up there. So we got probably, I don't know, 3-4 quarts of gasoline in this oil. So this old 396 big block may not like that. So we will, I'm going to shake you up. Hang on. Oh, sorry about that again. We'll get this throttle body bolted back down quick, and we're just going to fire it for a minute and see if we solve the problem. if she fires up, she's going to smoke like crazy because there's so much fuel dumped into this. And then we'll probably run down to the local AutoZone, or maybe the O'Reilly's. Everybody knows that jingle. Maybe down to the O'Reilly's and we'll grab some motor oil for this, and we'll probably get some oil changed in it, and then a guy could take it out and cruise it and see how it's running again. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'll just flip the camera around here for you quick, and we'll bolt this back down. Get you dizzy again, snap you in there, shake you up a little, turn you. There, you got a good vantage point. We're just gonna, yeah, I know, I probably should have changed that gasket, but you know what? It was working before it wasn't, so. We'll see here. We'll get some ball of nuts back on the old studs here. Hopefully, we may have solved the problem. We'll know in about 4 minutes, maybe. Go ahead and time me, I'll see. Maybe it'll be longer than that, I don't know. It's a little easier than working on new cars, but at least you got a little room in here. But we shall see what happens. Go over to this side. And get this throttle cable bracket back on. That wire out of the way. Oh, our springs came off. We better put our springs back on. So, like I say, that might not have been the scientific way to see if that regulator was working or not, but that's the ValueKustoms way. We aren't all that scientific. Either it'll work or it won't. So, hopefully, when it's all said and done, we'll have an old Chevelle that still works. One way or another. We'll have either solved it or marked one more thing off the list of that wasn't it problem. See if I can get my springs back on now that that bracket's back into place. I really like the fact that they came off. So we will adjust that a bit, figure out what's happening here, because now the springs don't want to fit where they were. What's going on here? There we go. There we go. These bad boys snugged up a little. This back one snugged up. I think the back two I can get on with a socket. Front ones I cannot. Oh, I can't get on that back one either, so okay. Grab me a wrench here. And we'll get them snugged it up. We'll get them snugged it up. I'll go over with the guys and what's all in this here car here shortly after we get it running again. Make sure this other back one here is snug. Now, I'm gonna go in there and I'm hit the key and we'll see if this old girl will fire up. I wanna make sure I get there, it's to your camera set so she don't fall down into the fan blade. All right, I'll be right back. You listen, see if she fires. Open that door. I should have had that door open already. A little smoky in here. Well, guys, good news is she did fire. Bad news is we're gonna walk outside here. I'm gonna show you something where this where it started up. Let's hope that it didn't injure this here hot rod. You want to see something real interesting? That right there came out of the tailpipe. That right there is pretty much raw fuel. That's how much fuel was leaked into this thing. I do believe we may have fixed it, but let's kind of hope and pray that we didn't hurt it. So, I'm gonna run down to the old O'Reilly's or AutoZone or someplace. I gotta pick up some motor oil and a new filter. We better get that changed before we play with this car anymore. I'll go get that done. I think we fixed it. That's the best it's ran since the problem started, and it is definitely full of fuel. I'm a little concerned with that, shooting out the tailpipe like that. Yeah, this well, you know what? Let me just tell you, this here, the '68 Chevelle. You've seen it in the background. A lot of my videos, I haven't showed the car all that much. This car has been in the family for a long time. She's an original turquoise car. When I painted it years ago, I built this car back in the late 90s, 98, 99, 2000, somewhere in there. I built this car and put it back to original color. It had a black interior. We put a white interior in it. Blah blah blah. It's got a 12-bolt rear end, 4-speed Super T10, and a 396. The car was not an original 396. There's a little badge that we put on it, but it is a 396. The car, it's a high compression car. I'm not talking it's 1,000 horsepower, but this car's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So, couple years ago, we put the Sniper EFI on it to try to make it a little more reliable, a little nicer to drive, maybe a little bit cheaper on fuel. We've tried E85, didn't work, so we put it on the Sniper. Sniper's worked really well. It has. It's worked really well till it didn't. Last summer, my father was driving the car on a local rod run. He did a few burnouts, and pretty soon the car started running really bad. We had to go rescue it with a truck and trailer, which never a fun deal on a rod run. But now it's, you know, it's the middle of July of the next year. That happened last September. The car's just been kind of sitting, been in storage, moving it back and forth. And I finally, I'm not going to say I finally had time. I'm going to tell you I finally took the time to try to figure out what was wrong with it. And I've tried a couple things. I talked to the guys at Holley, and they're a great help. But unless the thing's right in front of them, or you can visit with them, they're not 100% sure. So I'm not faulting them. You know, we tried a couple different things according to readings. We tried an oxygen sensor. We thought maybe that was causing the fuel. Then the last episode, the guy at Holley said, well, maybe you should try some injectors. Well, at 100 and whatever a pop or whatever they are, you know, we got a couple $100 into that. Well, when I was doing that, I decided in my ultimate wisdom, hey, let's just leave this here throttle body off and watch and see what it does. And so at that point, I assumed by eliminating everything else, the only thing left was the regulator. You heard that beep, that was the camera dying, but again, by eliminating everything, the only thing left was the regulator. So we just changed that regulator. I do believe obviously it wasn't running good there for that 10 seconds it was running. But that was the best it's ran since this whole process started. And I'm by far not an expert with a Holley Sniper system. I'm telling you that right now. And so I believe we probably solved the problem. But before we run it anymore, we're going to get that oil changed, because if it poured that much fuel, I'm standing at the front of the garage, and I don't know if you can see that back there. If it poured that much fuel off the passenger side exhaust, we probably better stop running it. So I'm gonna run to the store. I'll be right back, and we'll put some new dinosaurs and minerals in her. One good thing about it, the inside of this motor should be good and clean. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Well, guys, it's been a couple of months, about 3 months to be exact. But today, we're finally going to get back to working on the 68 Chevelle with the 396 in it. We had that sniper unit on here. We determined that there was a ECM problem inside the sniper unit. After talking to all the boys at Holley and whatnot, they told us to send her back and they would fix it. That was about 3 months ago. We unbolted that, threw it in a box, sent it back. The tech guy, hey, that tech guy was great. Once I got through to him, he was fantastic. But what he didn't tell me was why it was going to take so long. But anyway, so what we ended up doing, or they did, I guess, and I think that was their plan all along. I'm not sure, but here's what happened. I had an original Sniper EFI unit. It is a couple years old. They've since come out with the Sniper 2. They come out with all kinds of different stuff, you know. So I'll flip this around. We had the Sniper unit on here on this 396 big block. The car ran good. Just to recap here, the car ran good. All of a sudden one day it didn't. Tried to diagnose it. It was flooding the vehicle out. Blah, 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 blah. Sent it in. Lo and behold, after 2 months of waiting, I finally called them again. And they said, oh, hey, by the way, we're moving, we're working on this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But we can upgrade you to the Sniper 2 for $250. Well, fellas, I'm already invested in this, so I had to do something. So I said, okay, fine, let's get it done. Lo and behold, I think they could have done that from the beginning, and solved me wasting a whole summer waiting for parts. Anyway, it's here. The water under the bridge is what it is. So here's what they sent me. I'll flip this around. We got a brand new Holley Sniper 2 unit. It's if you remember earlier in my video here, We had the silver version of the first edition. For an extra couple bucks, you get some new ball studs. They got a gasket in there, some fittings, because this particular unit has to have an external regulator, where the other one had a regulator inside it. And if you've ever dealt with one of these and you read about them, the built-in regulator could tend to be a problem. So here's the new regulator it sent me, a nice Holley part number 12882, and a mounting bracket, some hardware for it, a little bit of hose, the new touch screen, LCD screen. We'll leave that covered up till we get it put in. And I've already plugged this in, but what this is right here is a wiring harness to plug into your original Sniper wiring that's in the car. Just kind of plug and play. Well, that's great, because then I don't got to rewire the whole car. So I'm kind of happy about that. But what I need to do is I need to get a couple things prepped in the car. The fuel line's got to move around a little bit, because it's a little bit different fuel system going into this. We're going to have the inlet in, and then obviously I got to put that inline regulator in the game. And so, yeah. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to set you down, and we're going to start putting things back together. So here we go. Hang with us. I know it might be a little boring here, but we'll get you turned so you can watch somewhat of what we're doing. I did shove a bunch of rags, because I put this car back outside. So I did shove a bunch of rags in here to keep critters, dirt, anything else from going in there. So let's make sure we got them all out of there, and we did. Let's get this gasket off, because we don't need this one. They gave us a new one. And I'll grab a little bit of cleaner, and we'll try to wipe that flange off a little bit. Just use one of these rags I just pulled out of there. Get the dirt off this flange. And hopefully everything just kind of sits. That's a pretty clean unit there. Hopefully everything just sets right back down where it's supposed to be. I'm going to set that carb cleaner down there just in case I need it again. All right, I'll grab a gasket. And I will grab the unit here. We'll throw on a gasket. Almost looks like it's supposed to be there. Okay. Or is it supposed to go this way? Nope, definitely not supposed to go that way. All right. Well, that way, we'll flip this fancy new unit around, and we'll set her on there. It's kind of pretty. They gave me an option. I could have went with the silver one, but I kind of thought the black one looked cool. I don't know. Hopefully. The old one was pretty tall, and I couldn't find an air cleaner to fit on the front of this car. So we didn't ever run one. Don't tell anybody that, because we probably should have had one. But we didn't. So it is what it is. And they claim to fame as my old cheap throttle cable holder will work, they say. So let's just throw some hardware on here and bolt this sucker down. Well, that's already a problem there. Can't use them washers, so that's all right. Now, from talking to the guy on the tech line and reading the instructions that come with it, you can feed your feed line into either or of them ports. So it doesn't matter which one you use for your inlet or your outlet. And it looks more like a carburetor than the old one. It comes with ports on each end and for all your vacuum lines. Now my big block here don't run a whole lot of vacuum lines, so we'll probably keep most of them plugged off. what we do run is all pretty simple. We don't have power brakes. We don't have, we're not running a vacuum line to the distributor. So we ain't got to worry about none of that. And let's see what we got for wires. This is going to come up to our temp sensor. Should already plug right in if I get it turned around the right way. So we'll have to get that taken care of and down there. Let's see, that's going to go down the other side to our oxygen sensor, which is located down under there. We'll get that run down that way. This is going to go to our handheld that is inside the car. And then this one here is all of our powered stuff. So, oh, we got two options here. We're going to have to read the instructions on that. I'm pretty sure the handheld's going to go to this one and not that. But I better double check that because that's the same exact deal. And then these two are going to plug into our existing wiring over here. And this one's going to go inside to a switched power source, I do believe. So we'll get them hooked up. So our main change that we're going to have is our fuel lines. And what's going to hook up where? When I was diagnosing this problem in the beginning, I purchased a couple of bolt-on or add-on pressure gauges. So we'll take them back out of there and we'll get some other stuff hooked up. I'll bring you back when I got that stuff ready. All right, see you in a minute. Well, we got the new Sniper unit put on here, the Sniper 2. I didn't bore you with all the wiring and stuff, but we'll go over it real quick of what we got. So we got the new Sniper unit on top of the big block here. Was able to use all the original linkage that I had from the Sniper 1. No difference there. Hopefully it'll hold up. We'll see. Not much difference. Did have to change the, if you're familiar with them, I had to change the fuel lines. The fuel lines came out the back of the original Sniper unit that I had in here. So we ran it over, and the original Sniper unit, as I said the other day, had a built-in regulator inside there. Now we have a fender mounted regulator, external regulator. Didn't have to rerun the lines all the way to the tank. We do have a tank's incorporated fuel tank in this with the fuel pump inside the fuel tank. Don't look at all my wires. My wires are a mess. Anyway, so we didn't have to do that. We did have to replumb it into the bottom of the regulator and a new line going out to the regulator. They supplied that in the kit from Holley. I will tell you that I'm going to go back and change a couple things on the kit. I do not like hose clamps. We got push lock fittings on the original lines that I had. I like the push lock fittings. I don't know, maybe the clamps are good enough. They are fuel injection clamps, so that's good, the high pressure ones. Then out of the back of the unit came some new wiring, and it came to this little, I'll call it a bulkhead. It's not really a bulkhead, it's a plug-in, and it goes down, and this piece here is an adapter, so it plugs into the original wiring that was in the car for the Sniper 1 unit. So there's literally no extra wiring to do. You could put this in a matter of I don't know, however long it took to put this on and hook it together. It took me a little longer because I had to clean up some stuff that was in the car a long time ago, and I should have done it then. But anyway, I took some of that stuff out. I do have a mess over here. I will come back and clean that all up, take some time, kind of do something with it. It looks horrible there, but it is what it is. It works for now. I just wanted to make sure this car was going to run and start and do all the stuff with the new unit on there. We do run a MSD ignition in this car. Boy, this car's dirty from sitting, but it was a driver, man. This is not a show car. This car was painted, we're 25 years ago now, and it's got some chips. We'll back it outside here in a minute when we get it fired up. Yeah, so that was the extent of it. We had all that stuff over there to do. I had to run back down to the original oxygen sensor that's in the line down there, and I had to run the a line inside to the little 3.5-inch handheld, which I actually have hanging out here on the fender. I got it wrapped around there. There was no extra wiring with this conversion, so if you have an old Sniper 1 unit, the new unit is really simple to put on. You get the external regulator, put it on, you get that extra wiring to plug and play. Boy, I'm standing here looking at that wiring. That's horrible. I get it. I know it. I will go back and fix that. So anyway, I also, inside the car, we had some other stuff wired in there. Some junk from back a long time ago. So I spent some time yesterday and I eliminated all that. We don't need all that crap in this car. This car is a fun little car to drive, just a basic cruiser. So yeah, I got a little tidying up to do underneath the dash yet because of that movement of them wires, but I'm gonna reach in here and show you what we got. We're gonna hit that key. Now you got to give it the 2.5-inch or 2.5-second cycle, and you watch the LED screen here, and it comes up. It already did the prime, and we'll reach in here. I'm not in the car. I'm not doing nothing. We'll just hit the key. All right. Now I get it. That's going to be loud. It's still going through the learn cycle, so our RPMs are up a lot higher than it should be idling. That's fine. We're still trying to get it to learn. But that 396 big block in this 68 Chevelle fires up like a brand new car. So we'll get some things out of the way here, and I am going to back it outside because it's a little gassy. Well, it's learning. And with the old Sniper unit that was in here, that was the problem, is something happened to the injection and it was flooding everything out. So I'm just going to put that down to look over. We got, I don't know, 58 pounds. I don't know what that gauge says. That is a Chinese Amazon gauge. Not very accurate. We'll walk around here. We're gonna just back this car outside real quick if I don't mess anything up in here. Oh, I touched the gas pedal. Did you hear that? All right, let me get the door shut. See if I can find reverse. Now, I've been working on this car a little bit this summer. Like I said, it took a while to get the parts back from Holley to, oh, my screen door is kind of, it's magnetic and it's sticking to the car. Let's get this out of here without running over anything. Oh, I got a rock pile there. Don't hit the rock pile. I did. Oh, hey, I'm sorry about that camera work right there. But this car doesn't have power steering, and sometimes it takes both hands to make this thing move. We're not going to go for a ride. We're just going to back it out here and let it kind of breathe a little bit. If I got to move this rock pile. This thing is right in the way. All right, we're just going to get it out here by the fence. Let her breathe a little. All right. enough. Is it gonna stay here or are we gonna roll down the hill? No, we'll stay here. All right, we'll get outside. We'll just let her run a little. All right, I know the car's dirty. It's got grass clippings stuck to the side of it from sitting here. The paint's faded on it, but no, dang it, she's a fun car. If I get that idle to settle down a little bit, she's got a nice lope to it. More sun fade on the hood. Like I said, this car is painted 25 years ago and it's sat outside most of its life. So, yeah. This car does have, like I said, 396, 4-speed car. Does have 3-inch exhaust on it. It's it's running 456 gears right now, so it's just, we're gonna change that too. We're gonna make it so it'll drive a little better down the highway. Fun car, super fun car. So there we have it. Got a good look to her, even though she's kind of beat up a little bit. I will tell you, if you watch my channel, you know that I like rusty stuff, and the fancy shiny paint. I don't know. I like it. I like it when it's somebody else's because I don't like to babysit it, but I painted that car. Let's rephrase that. I did all the body work and I had a guy paint that car in 1999, I think it was. And so I got that car running and driving, and I sold it to my father probably early 2000s, I suppose. And back then I had to sell one to get another one, and I'm fortunate enough now that I don't have to, but back then I had to sell it in order for me to buy a 62 Nova, and I sold that. The only reason I'm telling you that is because as far as a vehicle goes, that's the last car that I had painted. Now I'm telling you about the Nova because I had that Nova and I sold that Nova to buy a motorcycle. I painted that motorcycle. One of these days on the channel we'll take a peek at that, but I still have that motorcycle 20 years later. I painted that motorcycle. That is the last thing that I've ever painted. So, and I literally did that one myself. So I get the paint thing. I like the patina thing, but that car looks pretty good sitting right over there in the sunshine, just sparkling away from 20 foot. She's a beautiful car. That is the factory turquoise color. I believe it's called Tripoli turquoise, if I remember right. It's been a long time. I know my motorcycle is a turquoise color too, but and I remember that being a tropical turquoise. But anyway, doesn't matter. All right, so we're gonna end it on that. I might show you a ride. We'll go for a ride in that. We got to get it to learn, do the Holley Sniper learn thing, and get that idle to come back down a little bit. We'll go through that process. That's gonna take a little time, and maybe we'll bring you along for that. Maybe not. I don't know. It just depends. But yeah, we're gonna call it good for now. The Holley Sniper 2, I'm gonna say that's a win. I like that. I remember when I put the 1 on it, it didn't run like this initially. It took a lot of tuning to get that car to run right. this is running pretty good just right off the start. So we'll go through the process, tune it, we'll get the laptop out, and we'll tweak a couple things. It's not a super horsepower motor, but it's not a stock motor, so we gotta adjust a couple things in there. Anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button for me, and like everybody says, you know, I'm just a guy in the garage having fun and bringing you along for the ride. So we're going through some old projects, we're starting some new ones. We got to finish a couple other ones here pretty quick before we start too many more. Okay, but anyway, I appreciate you watching, and as always, take care, God bless, subscribe to that Value Customs, and remember, get out in that garage, get one thing done every day, and the progress will come. All right, guys, take care.